Welcome to the Ultimate PBN course by Doug Cunnington and Lewis Ogden. We're going to go over building a private blog network step by step. It's quite complicated and it sounds circular, but we've worked out a way of calculating a website's importance. Larry Page, the co-founder of Google. My name is Doug Cunnington. I'm a software project manager for a telecom company by day. And in the last year or so, I've gotten deeply into niche sites, and particularly I focus on Amazon affiliate-based websites. I found the process overall very enjoyable, and it's a great hobby to have. And of course, the nice benefit is it's a nice side income, and I definitely enjoy that aspect as well. So one of the keys to the success, especially in more recent months, is building my own PBN and being able to rank my websites very quickly. And I think that is a key factor why everyone should be building their own PBN.
Yeah, my name is Lewis Ogden. I'm the founder of cloudincome.com. Much like Doug, I've been heavily involved in niche sites for a couple of years now, and I have used multiple kind of PBNs to rank those websites quite successfully. I found out the power of these PBNs really by mistake. I registered a expired domain and used that as a money site and found that I was ranking really well, really quickly. And I think it's kind of a study Doug's got going on his blog at the moment, which you should check out. It's kind of the comparison between a brand new registered domain and an expired domain that has some history and some authority in Google's eyes. So check that out. What happened is this site was ranking really quickly, really easily with very few backlinks. So I decided to pick up a few more and point them toward it using kind of a 301 redirect. And then I started kind of a few blogs. I thought I would try a blog on this and kind of point the links over before I really knew what a PBN was. And straight away I saw the power of it. Over the past 6 months, I've been running a service called RankSource, which is a private blog network for my clients in various niches: finance, fitness, everything really, Amazon niche sites, AdSense sites. And yeah, it's going really well, really enjoy it. And I've recently found the power of outsourcing and of building a team. And that kind of is the most enjoyable part for me really as well, is kind of running that team and almost kind of going into the project management side of it.
Great. And Lewis, we haven't met in person, but I detect a little bit of an accent. Are you from Texas?
No, Manchester, England.
Okay. And
So
I'm out of Atlanta, Georgia, so I don't know what to say about that. But
but we do both have a fondness for real ales, so that's a key point we need to put up front there.
Yeah, hopefully soon we'll be able to share a pint or two.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, nice pint. Excellent.
All right, here's a quick overview of the course. So this particular module is an introduction to PBNs. Later, we will be talking about the planning aspect, sourcing domains, hosting, building sites, maintaining the PBN, linking out to your money sites, avoiding footprints, and we're also going to go over some examples of actual private blog network websites.
So if we kind of look at the definition of what exactly a private blog network is, first of all, we kind of abbreviate that to PBN, so you'll see a lot of that around throughout the course, just easy to say. Basically, it's a network of websites that is typically made up from expired domain names. And we use these PBN sites and these domain names to link build to our money sites or our business websites in a fully controlled environment, mean that we can completely troll the backlinks. So we're going to take a look at why PBNs are so powerful. As I say, they're made up from expired domain names, but we particularly look at for expired domain names that have a high authority in Google's eyes. And Google view these backlinks from high authority websites as a lot more valuable than kind of low authority sites, such as kind of Blogger and WordPress hosted sites. A link from a high profile website like nasa.gov, for example, which you would do amazing to get a link from those guys. But it carries so much more weight in Google's search algorithm, and that juice, as they call it, is then passed on to your money site.
Another reason PBNs are so powerful for link building is that you fully control those backlinks to your money websites. So you can fully control the velocity of backlinks added to your sites, and you can do it whenever you like. So if you're rolling out a new site, maybe you want to take it easy at first and add just a couple links per week until you get more content added. Another reason private blog networks are so powerful is we can quickly adapt to algorithm changes by Google at any time. So this does happen. We've seen it in 2012, 2013, and already this year in 2014. And these algorithm changes can have a huge impact on your rankings for your money websites. So being able to control your backlinks gives you a very, very big advantage over your competition.
We're going to take a look at trust rank, and it's not a metric that's often talked about, but it's one of the key metrics I use, and one of the first I use when I'm doing my due diligence on a domain name if I want to buy it or not. And it comes from Moz, and essentially it can be used as an alternative metric to kind of your domain authority, page authority, and it's free. You just have to click on a special tab, which I'll show you in a second. But essentially, it's a measure of how much esteem Google has for your website or that particular domain name you're taking a look at. If you have a link from NASA, for example, you are just one link removed from the top level trust rank. You can't get more trustworthy than NASA. Many people may disagree, but if you've got a link from those guys, that is one link removed away from a high authority, high trust rank website. We can take a look at Cloud Income as an example. So we pull it up in Moz here, and you can see down in the left-hand corner there we have the page Moz Trust, and Moz Trust is kind of Google's trust rank. It's their estimate at the distance so your website is away from trusted seeds using a page rank like calculation. So as you can see here, there is a score of 5.35. When looking at expired domain names, I generally go for anything above 5. 9 times out of 10, that is a really good indicator of something is worth taking an extra look at. And you can get to this page by just clicking on the compare link metrics, as you can see in the red box over on the right-hand side. So there are a few things that you should know up front before getting into building your own PBN. It's not all rainbows and high search engine rankings, unfortunately. You should be aware of some of the pitfalls.
There are some risks up front that you should be aware of. So Google could detect your network. It's fairly unlikely, but there is a chance that one of the domains in your network could be discovered. Perhaps it's reported by a competitor. The end result could be that your entire PBN would be de-indexed. The end result would be that the links going to your money sites would be devalued. Another risk is that a competitor could take a look at the backlink profile of your money sites. This actually is a fairly likely scenario to happen. So what could happen is the competitor would take a look at some of your money sites, and they would sort of know other niches that they would be able to get into. We do have a pretty powerful solution to take care of this. We'll get into that later, though.
So the third risk here is any Google algorithm updates. And there's been kind of some chatter around in the SEO industry about how exactly Google could devalue expired domains. And as I see it, that's kind of the easiest way they could attack private blog networks. And that would be to take any expired domain and any kind of backlinks built before the point it went expired, or it was expired, sorry, would be devalued. So all the link juice flowing through that domain, it would be pretty much resetting to zero, and it would appear to be a brand new domain name. And as it states here, it would be a huge blow to PBNs, and many people will be affected, myself included, and any kind of people who own PBNs. It is a risk. How possible it is, I don't know. If I was at Google and head of web spam, it's something I'd be looking at straight away. But who knows what goes on in the old Google mind. So there are some other considerations to take into account when building a PBN. First and foremost is time. It does take a considerable amount of time to start, maintain, and run your private blog network. There are ways around this and ways to save time. You could outsource a lot, like I do. But I think really it's really important to understand the process and maybe build out a few sites yourself, so you understand exactly what you need and who you need for this task. And also, you may decide to batch it. So go away, buy all your domain names, then find all the hosting, for example, and then set up the websites. So you could take it in batches like that, or you could do them one at a time. But I've found batching it is an easier way, and that's how I got started.
Cost is another thing to consider when looking at building a PBN. So there are many aspects to this. It could be purchasing domains from a broker. Hosting is another obvious item that you have to pay for. Each one of the domains also needs to have content. So in most cases, you're probably not going to write it yourself due to the time constraints that would cause. So it's another thing we really need to take a look at. Third item listed here is management. So it's not really a trivial task. You do need to keep meticulous records about each one of your domains, its hosting, IP addresses, and the overall status.
I think linking these two together. I mean, if you don't manage the network and you don't record all of the details, then you're not really going to know how much each domain is costing you. You're not going to know when the hosting's up for renewal. You're not going to know when the domain name's about to expire, and you need to plan these in ahead of time and either set up recurring subscriptions, so you don't have to keep checking various different email accounts and paying different invoices at different times. So that management, number three, management is really key, and kind of links everything together. So it is a big one, and it seems kind of trivial, but it definitely isn't.
Okay, what about the benefits? So guys, why are we even building PBNs if there are so many pitfalls? So Lewis, what's the top couple reasons you recommend building a PBN?
I think, as we touched on earlier, with controlling your backlinks, I did a post on my blog not so long ago, and it was kind of the key elements of SEO in 2014. It's back in January. On one of those, and probably the top one, was controlling your own backlinks. There's so many people using the disavow tool and hiring companies to kind of have links ignored by Google that they built in the past that worked back in 2009, and now they're all of a sudden they're not working. You're talking your kind of your site-wide footer links and sidebar links. So a PBN will allow you to control your own backlinks, control your anchor text, which pages they link to, your link velocity. That is really key, and I would say the number one reason. And second of all, it works. The kind of power that these PBN sites pass is unrivaled, really. You cannot buy these links. Well, you can for other people, but it's better to own your own. Again, you can't come back to the control factor. But you're guaranteed your competition does not have these links. And if they do, then you're probably in a heavily SEO'd industry, and maybe you should think about switching.
Yeah, good points, Lewis. To expand on that a little bit, I agree totally. And controlling your backlinks is probably the number one reason for me too. And just to zoom in a little bit, I think controlling the anchor text specifically is very important. So a lot of algorithm changes are rooted directly into anchor text distribution. So if something changes, if you own your PBN and you own your links, you can literally make these updates in minutes and check on what impacts your rankings and take care of it from there. And I think my second point is actually kind of similar to Lewis's, but the fact is your competition is going to be using PBNs. So if you're not, then you're probably going to struggle to keep up with your competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next section coming up is planning. For me as a project manager, this is probably one of the most important aspects. If you don't start with a plan, you're really going to struggle while you're implementing your PBN. So we'll see you in the next section.